Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, Red, White, and Bills. This is our second week in weekly picks with my co-host and my shotgun rider, Brett McDurphy. I took the dub for week one. I was 10-6. Brett was 8-8. Even though Brett screwed me over with telling me Chris Jones signed his contract, I still got the dub, and it didn't matter. Oh, and go Bills. Yes, sir. Go Bills. And we're going to talk about all of our weekly picks for picks 2, and then we'll see who comes up on top. But right now I'm in the lead, so now Brett has to be careful with who he picks because now I got the lead. I can fool around a little bit and pick a different upset, but same rules apply. Oh, you know what? Crap. I forgot to play the banner for weekly picks, so here we go. You can see the rules on here. Let's do it. And you saw the rules, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be live. Pete's takes. Tua is better than Josh Allen according to the stats so far this season. Yes, he is, apparently. Pete, if you're the Pete I'm thinking of, thanks for tuning in. I don't think I've seen you on my channel yet, but I've seen you elsewhere. So we appreciate you. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and let's enjoy some weekly picks. You saw the rules. We get one upset. We can pass 3 times in the season, and ties are a wash. And there was no ties. So that's awesome. You know what? I'm going to skip Brett's intro. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Brett. Say hello, and then we'll get right into Thursday Night Football.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to our second week of weekly picks. We really appreciate everybody for tuning in. And Sean, thank you for having me again for another week of weekly picks on
every week. You're stuck with me now. It's every
week.
I'm
stuck with you, man. Hey, listen, we're going to go together like peanut butter and jelly for the rest of the season. And then maybe next year, you might have to go with a different spread on the peanut butter. So you might have to go with some peanut butter and honey or something like that next year. So,
all right. Well, let's get into it. Thursday Night Football. This is, I think, the same week 2 matchup as last year, but it wasn't Thursday night. I think it was a different night game. Vikings at Eagles. Eagles are favored -7.5. I'm going Eagles here just because we've seen the Vikings in prime time. And, stats are stats for a reason, I guess, right? So I think the Eagles, they might not win by 7.5, but I think they'll win this game. Curious to see how Jordan Addison does in week 2. He did pretty good week 1. Obviously, Jefferson went off. But for the fantasy players out there, we'll see how Jordan Addison does. I got him on my bench. But I'm going Eagles here. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go the same exact way as you and say that the Eagles will win this game. I didn't see enough out of the Vikings last week to justify them beating the Eagles.
And they screwed us over last week too.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't see enough out of the Eagles either. They need a bounce back week this week. The Patriots kept it way too close, and I think that this is going to be a week that the Eagles will find a way to win it. I think it's going to be big, especially with the amount of turnovers that Kirk Cousins had last week. That's something that concerns me a little bit this week, especially with the Philadelphia team that's going to be very good. So I'm taking Philadelphia.
Nice. Jets, Cowboys. I'm going Cowboys here. Obviously, the Jets lost Aaron Rodgers. They still have a great defense, fantastic defense, and they beat the Buffalo Bills. But that Cowboys defense, that's the best in the league. That's ferocious. That's amazing. That's just how you play. That's how you play ball. I love it. They're in Dallas. Their favorite 9.5. I don't know what the score will be, but I know Dallas is winning this game to move to 2-0. And then the Jets come back down to earth even more after the unfortunate news of Aaron Rodgers, and then they start losing.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. I think that the Cowboys are going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be close, especially with Micah Parsons out there and DeMarcus Lawrence as well. So I'm going to take the easy choice on the Dallas Cowboys. And if you're somebody that's betting in survivor leagues, definitely take Dallas this week. I think that they're going to be winning this game very easily. And you might want to take the Jets to lose too.
Love it. You see now Brett's behind. He's copying every move I make. He's doing the right thing here. But I'm doing already my upset of the week. Chiefs versus Jags. Chiefs favorite -2.5. I got the Jags here. I know Chris Jones and Kelsey will be back, but there's something about that playoff game last year that I thought the Jags could have pulled it off. And wouldn't it be something to see the Chiefs go to 0-2? And then we'll see about the Bengals and the Bills, but the best three teams that everyone thinks in the AFC preseason and, maybe still, Chiefs, Bills, Bengals all lost. And wouldn't it be something if the Chiefs went 0-2? I'm not just saying that because I want them to lose, but I could really see the Jags winning this game. So that's my upset of the week. My upset of the week last week, one of the two, the Browns won, which was my big upset. Steelers lost, but Browns were my big upset. But I'm only picking one upset this week. Jags winning.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that's a real toss-up. The spread for this game is only 2.5 to Kansas City, and it is in Jacksonville. But I don't see a reason why the Patrick Mahomes is going to start 0-2 this year. There's high expectations on them. You have Chris Jones. You also have Chris Jones coming back. You also have Travis Kelce coming back. And I really do think that the Chiefs are going to find a way to get everything corrected, just like Buffalo, is going to do the same thing. So I'm going to take Kansas City in this one, and I'll gain one spot on you this week.
We'll see. But Ravens versus Bengals. Bengals favored -3.5. Everyone's going to think I'm a hater, but Bengals are going 0-2 as well as the Chiefs week 2. Ravens are winning this game. I don't know Mark Andrews' status. I probably should have looked that up before I made the decision. But I don't really see this as an upset, if I'm being fair, because Lamar wasn't really there last year and the year before that when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl run. Lamar missed like the last 8 games. If Lamar played 5 of those 8 games, which they lost all of them, I think, they would have made the playoffs over the Bengals. And then the Bengals would never even had that run. So I'm going to pick the Ravens here. I wouldn't call this an upset. I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens lose, but I think the Bengals were going to fall again. And they started 0-2 last year. So for people thinking like, oh, he wants all the AFC teams to lose because the Bills stink. But they started 0-2 last year. Burrow had the appendicitis and he didn't play preseason. Same thing happened. He had a calf injury. He looked like crap last week. And, could happen again this week against a great Ravens team that didn't have Lamar last year.
I'm in agreement with you on this game. I really do think that that Baltimore has a really good team this year. And to answer your question about Mark Andrews, he was limited today with the quad injury that he has. So there's some upside with Mark Andrews, and he's trending in the right direction. Hopefully he does play this week because I have him in fantasy as my tight end. And I had to start a backup tight end, which was Dawson Knox, which ended up being okay for me. Wasn't the best choice overall, but a lot of the people that were on the waiver wire just didn't seem like they're going to be good fits. So I'm going to take the Ravens to win this game. I do think that Joe Burrow is going to bounce back, but I don't think he's going to win this game overall. There's some concern with the Baltimore offensive line. That's one thing that concerns me a little bit about this game. And that's pretty much what I think is going to happen. I think that it's going to be a close game, but I think that the Ravens will win it.
Nice. All right. The Lions, after a big win in Arrowhead, are at home. This is going to be electric. This is going to be crazy versus Seahawks. I like the Seahawks, but they disappointed me last week. I wasn't expecting that against a very crappy, horrible Rams team. I'm going Lions here. I think the Seahawks will rebound, though, and have a decent season, but it just didn't seem like they were in sync last week, and I don't know if they'll be in sync this week. And the Lions are coming off a huge, huge win, no matter what anybody says. And now they're home for the first time. Sellout crowd. So, Lions, baby.
Yeah, I think that the Lions will win this game too, but this is a trap game that could happen this week. I do think that the Seahawks are a good team. I love their defense, but just the atmosphere that the Lions are coming off of the win against the Kansas City Chiefs, as well as the Lions playing at home, that gives me more reasons to have the Lions win this game.
Absolutely. Pete Steak says, I doubt Bengals lose at home. They might not. I just got that feeling like Baltimore is about to have a great season. But I wouldn't be surprised. All right. Colts at Texans. Colts -1.5. I'm going Texans. I think CJ Stroud had a pretty good game against a great Ravens defense. Didn't have any touchdowns, but didn't put the ball in harm's way. Over 240 yards. I think they got a chance to take the Colts out. AR didn't have a horrible game for the Colts, but they don't have Jonathan Taylor still. And they gave the Jags a great game, but in the end they just choked and they went from being in the lead 21-17 to losing 31-21. So I didn't didn't expect that to happen, but I'm gonna go Texans here, get their first win at home, and wrap it up.
Yeah, I think DeMeco Ryans is a really good coach in this league. I think he's going to have a really good time getting this team back to the way that Houston Texans football should be. But with that being said, I do think that Anthony Richardson is the real deal. I loved what he did last week. He made a lot of good throws. And even though the Colts lost the game, they lost to a Jaguars team that's very good. Absolutely. So I'm going to take the Colts to win this game. I think it's going to be a close one. But I do think that the Colts will sneak a win in. It's going to come down to a kick, but I think the Colts will win this game.
Like it. I don't hate it. All right. Bears, who had very high hopes, their fans did anyway, versus the Bucks, who I thought was going to be our only guaranteed win of the year. Now took down the Vikings. They gave up a ton of yards to Jefferson, but Baker Mayfield somehow had a decent day. I know the Vikings defense isn't our defense, but they surprised me last week, and they earned this week for me to pick them over the Chicago Bears. The Bears don't have the worst team in the NFL, but I don't think that Fields really took a leap that they thought he would. He only targeted Moore twice. And the whole thing about getting Moore was to get him a number one receiver. And it just looked like they ran the same old Bears defense of last year. So I'm going Bucks here.
Yeah, I'm going to go the other way on this game. I need to catch up to you on a couple of games. So I'm going to take the Bears to win this game, even though I do think that the Bucks are an improved team not from last year, but improved team compared to what people were expecting from them to start the year. I think they're going to be in a lot of games, especially with Baker Mayfield. But something that still concerns me is the Bucs defense. Even though they did a really good job against the Minnesota Vikings of limiting them to 41 yards last week, I still have concerns for the Bucs defense with their passing game. And I think that the Vikings pretty much gave the game away to the Bucs. And I think that the Bears are going to win this game, even though it's at the Bucs. It's in front of a really good crowd that you're going to see with the Tampa Bay Bucs. I think it's just going to come down to Chicago not starting 0-2.
Like I said, I don't hate it. I thought the Bears would have been a little bit better, or maybe they had that, we never beat Green Bay looming over their head, and they kind of just look crappy down at the end of the game. Speaking of Green Bay,
don't get me wrong, Green Bay's defense is pretty good.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but still, all the hype that surrounded, you got, a better offensive line. You drafted one of the best tackles in the draft. Then you got number one receiver. You got Chase Claypool, who's decent, but I don't know. Didn't strike good with me. But now we got the 1-0 Packers -1.5 against the Falcons. 1-0 Falcons with Bijan and Drake London and Desmond Ridder, who Desmond Ridder didn't impress me yet again, but didn't do anything to lose them the game against the Panthers. But I'm going to go with the Packers here. I was actually super impressed with Jordan Love. I mean, I don't know how Rodgers couldn't win with what they had last year. I know it's the Bears, but they still have a great defense. They got our best player, according to some people, Tremaine Edmonds. They got TJ Edwards. They got Billings. I forgot what team he played for as a nose tackle. Then you got Frisker. And then there's one other guy I'm forgetting in the secondary that are pretty good. So, and then they got another linebacker who also forgot his name, Sands something, or he plays. I think he plays outside, but forgot his name. But he's pretty good. And then
Jack Sanborn, are you talking about?
yeah. That's him. But the Packers look good. I mean, Aaron Jones looked good. I mean, Love didn't have a great completion percentage in the beginning, but then he got the ball where it needed to go. He threw 3 touchdown passes, ties for the league in touchdown passes with Mac Jones and Tua, and I think they can win some games. I don't think they'll win the division, but this will be a great game. Honestly, I like the point spread. I don't hate the Falcons, but I think. I mean, I saw the Packers game in its entirety. I watched parts of the Falcons game, but I was really impressed with the Packers, and I think the Packers will be able to neutralize some of their weapons. Jair Alexander on Drake London, and just the run defense in general on Bijan, but giving it to the Pack.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers to win this game too, and I'm going to give you a little bit of the reason why I'm taking the Packers is because even though I think Bijan Robinson is the real deal, I mean, I loved what he did in week 1. Great numbers that he had, as well as Algier. I can't think of his name.
I think it's Tyler Algier. I think
that's
could be
right.
wrong, but Algier for sure.
Algier looked good as well, but the one thing I looked at when I watched the Falcons game was Desmond Ridder did not look the best. You said it perfectly, and I expected him to take a little bit of a step up. And even though the Falcons offense with Arthur Smith is kind of a strange offense because it reminds me a lot of Desmond Ridder reminds me a lot of Marcus Mariota. He's just somebody that can, if he learns how to use his legs and learns how to use the read option in his favor, he can then make the throws to be able to get to guys like Drake London and Kyle Pitts. But he doesn't use the read option enough, and that's one thing that the Falcons struggle with. So I think the Packers are going to do a really good job of containing Bijan Robinson as well as Tyler Algier, and they're going to make it one-dimensional, and it's going to come down to can Desmond Ridder beat the Packers defense, and I don't see that happening. That's why I'm going to take the Packers to win this game.
Love it. All right. Raiders at Bills. Bills favored -8.5. I never like to see big point spreads, especially after we come off a horrible loss. But the Bills got to win this game. You're at home. Your quarterback, who can be absolutely fantastic and one of the best, lost you that football game. If you haven't checked out my film breakdown, I know it's 2 hours, but please, I recommend you watch it. Bills fan or not, just to get an understanding about the game. A lot of false narratives and things that to unpack there. But Josh was the main cause, was really the only cause of the game. But I mean, they got to win this game. You have no choice. No matter what happens, you have to win. It doesn't matter if it's 3-0, 6-3, 50-52, or 52-50. You got to win this game. And the Raiders aren't going to just lay down for you. They got the best running back in the NFL last year. Well, he's still one of the best anyway. But Devontae Adams, Michael Mayer, the tight end, the guy that I wanted, but not that he's, going to be the best in the world right now, but, a playmaker nonetheless, Hunter Renfrow, and, Max Crosby against Spencer Brown, which is going to be really horrible. But can't sleep on them. We have no right to do that. I don't think they will. And Josh has to practice what he preaches and take care of the football because, I mean, I just also love the Josh never gets hate narrative that the media has been trying to paint. Like Damian Woody was like, when is Josh going to get smoked like Dak Prescott? Josh gets smoked every day since he was a rookie. Everybody hates on him. Even when he does good, nobody talks about it because they don't want to talk about it. They just want to talk about the hate. And some people out there that might be watching, they know who they are, and it's not a bad thing. People can talk how they want, but it doesn't take away the good things that he does. He does horrible things sometimes. and he needs to stop that. He needs to limit that because he can cost his team a game, and he could cost himself being one of the best quarterbacks. But nonetheless, Bills need to win this game, and I think they will. I don't know. I'm not going to give a score prediction, but we're a better team than the Raiders is all I'm going to say. We were a better team than the Jets were, but great teams don't lose 2 games in a row. I said that last year. We lost 2 games in a row. Even though we were 13-3, we didn't look great in the playoffs. So can't lose 2 in a row.
So for my upset of the week, I am going to take the Bills to win this game because I don't see a reason why I should pick the upset of the week being the Raiders in this game. So there's no upset of the week in this one, but the Bills are going to come out of the gates firing in this game. And I don't see a reason why the game should – well, I don't see a reason why fans should be at the game in the second half of this game because the Bills are going to come out lights out. And if you're a fan of watching the Bills kick the tail out of teams, this is a game that you're going to want to go to. It's going to be electric for the Buffalo Bills. It's their home opener. You know how much Bills Mafia loves the home opener. And I wish this was a game that I could go to. I really do. But unfortunately, I won't be able to go to it. And you're going to see, just like Pete Stakes just said, he said the Bills will smoke the Raiders. And that's what I think is going to happen.
Yep. Josh needs to throw like 6 touchdowns and have no turnovers for like 7 games in a row to make up for that last game. So
completely
we got to destroy him. All right. Chargers at Titans. Chargers -3.5. Titans didn't look that good. They still got Derrick Henry. They got DeAndre Hopkins, but Treylon Burks. I think the Chargers will win this game. It might be close because we saw the Chargers defense last week against the Dolphins. But if they stop Derrick Henry, I think they'll be fine. But that's a big if. I think offensively, though, they'll be able to get the job done. I don't think the Chargers fall to 0-2.
Yeah, I don't see a reason why the Chargers are going to fall to 0-2 either. You look at the Tennessee Titans, and the Titans are an older team. You got a quarterback that's pretty old in Ryan Tannehill. You have DeAndre Hopkins, who's still learning the system, as well as Derrick Henry, who you've been feeding the ball to for a number of years. And you got to wonder, when is the toll going to take effect on Derrick Henry? And I'm not saying that that's going to happen this year, but what I'm saying is when you give the running back as many carries as you give him every single year, something's going to happen where his body starts to take a toll on it. And you have to wonder, when is that year coming? Because running backs all of a sudden go from being the greatest to being one of the middle of the pack very shortly. So I just don't see a reason why Derrick Henry is going to carry the Titans to a victory. So I'm going to take the Chargers to win this game.
Love it. Chargers win big. Pete agrees. This is the easiest game to pick of the week. Niners at Rams. The Rams just can't ever beat the Niners. It's just a joke. And I'd put any amount of money that I had, but I don't have money to put on. But if I did have a ton of money, I picked the Niners to win, no doubt.
So you'll bet your business on it?
If that was even possible, but I can never risk the business. But if it was like a monetary amount, then yeah, I would. And the Niners would win.
I'm going to keep it very short and sweet. Niners all day.
Yeah. Not much to talk about there. That's just no shot.
Yeah,
all right.
Completely agree with you.
The Giants, who just got absolutely embarrassed and broken down completely, are going to Arizona for the Cardinals. Part of me wanted to pick this was my upset, but I just don't think the Cardinals are gonna win. So Giants come back. You can't really play worse than you did last week. The Cardinals don't have the Dallas pass rush. They'll be able to run the ball. They'll be able to throw the ball a little bit. And the Giants defense is still pretty good. And I'm going with the Giants here.
So I liked what I saw out of the Cardinals, especially when Dobbs was in the game. He looked pretty good, but I do think that the Giants are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a commanding win for them, with Saquon Barkley having a big day. and then and I want to say Mac Jones. I don't know why I wanted to say Mac Jones, but Daniel Jones is going to have a big day as well. So I just don't see a reason why the Cardinals are going to stay in this game, and I think that the Giants defense is going to do a lot better job against the Cardinals.
Love it. Let's get some of the comments here. Matt Chatter, he was in my breakdown of the All-22. He says he's going over it again. I appreciate that. I don't know if you're watching mine or just watching it on your own, but if you're watching mine again, I really appreciate that you were watching it and that your opinions. He also agrees with me that Bernard played pretty well. Allen was stumbling down drunk. Absolutely. Pete says the Rams are sneaky. I think that's my upset of the week. I like that. That's a risky. That's what upsets of the week are about. And Brett was kind of soft last week, but we'll see. And then stared down Diggs. Oh yeah, I mean, if you watched the whole thing of mine, you saw all that stuff, and I was just like, oh, this is insane. I don't know how Allen was able to play this bad. It's like he tried. I started thinking, I don't think the NFL is scripted, but after that game, I was like, it's got to be. That had to be scripted.
Yeah,
There's no way you're that dumb and that horrible in that game. But 4 games left. I know we're doing rapid fire here, but I got some chores to do so my wife doesn't kill me. And I had a little bit of a break in between two of my jobs today, and I had a 2-hour live stream, so my head's just pounding. But we're putting out the great weekly picks for you guys, and we appreciate that you guys are here. And also, I forgot to mention, go to Go Bills podcast after this and subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed to me yet, I would appreciate it. And we're going to be pumping out content. Yep, 2 to 3 hours was open after second. And, yep, every interception, there's people open. And he just can't wait to play the Raiders and hopefully have a great game. But
yeah, for sure.
We got Commanders versus Broncos. Broncos are actually favored in -3.5. I'm going Commanders, though. Broncos have a fantastic defense. Russ threw 2 touchdowns last week in the loss to the Raiders. But I just don't think offensively they're going to be able to compete with the Commanders' defense. I think it's going to be like a 7-3 game or like a 13-6 game. Commanders win.
I think the Commanders win as well. I didn't see enough out of Sean Payton and the Denver offense to be able to be confident in them. And I just think that the Broncos are kind of that wishy-washy team that's going to win a game, lose a game, and go that way throughout the whole entire season. So I'm going to take the Commanders to win this week. I like what I've seen out of Sam Howell as well. He looks like a really good quarterback in this league, and he's poised. He makes the big plays when you need him to, and he's willing to fire the ball into tight coverage as well. So I'm going to take the Commanders to win.
Love it. All right. Sunday Night Football, division matchup, Fins at Pats. Last week I went against the Fins because of how they played against the Chargers last year, and I needed to see how they respond, and they responded with the win. So they earned my pick to beat the Patriots this week. Patriots play good against the Eagles. I don't think this will be easy. I don't think Tua's going to throw 500 yards and 3 touchdowns, but it's going to be a tough game. And if Tua can compile 2 great games in a row, they should be very excited. Excuse me. I'm going Fins here. They're -2.5. I think it's going to be like a similar game to week 1 a couple of years ago. I think it was like 20-14. I think it'll be close like that.
Yeah. I went back and forth on this game, and I know I gave you my picks before the game, but I'm actually going to say the Patriots win this game. I think the Patriots defense is better than most people expect, and I think they're going to find a way to limit Tyreek Hill as well as Jalen Waddle, and they're going to be able to find a way to keep pressure on Tua as well. It just seems like Bill Belichick has some type of way to make sure that he does that. And I think that the way that they're going to do that is by running the ball with Ramondre Stevenson as well as Ezekiel Elliott. That's why he went after Ezekiel Elliott. So I just see that as the way that the Patriots, find a way to win. That's what they do. So it's going to be the Patriots winning this game, and that's one of my upsets of the week.
All right. I'll give you that one. Again, it's kind of soft, but it is an upset.
I took the Commanders too, so that's my second upset of the week.
But all right. 2 Monday Night Football games, which is stupid because one of them starts at 7, one of them starts at 8, so it's kind of dumb. But first one, Saints versus Panthers. Saints are -2.5. Was kind of disappointed in the Saints offense last week, but their defense is, a great unit, top unit. So I'm gonna go Saints here. Panthers, I didn't think they would win last week, but they kind of disappointed me, and I thought they'd perform better against the Falcons. But I'm going Saints here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Saints too. Even though Pete's takes is pretty much saying that the Commanders is definitely an upset over Denver. So, I mean, you can consider that one there. Yeah, I do think that the Saints are going to win this game. I think they're going to bounce back, and it just takes a little bit of time with Derek Carr developing chemistry with Chris Olave as well as Michael Thomas, and add in the fact that they got Jamal Williams. And I think that the Saint offense is going to be better than a lot of people expect. So I'm going to take the Saints to win this game, even though I do like Bryce Young. I liked some of the decisions that he made last week, and he kept them in the game last week. But I just don't see a reason why they're going to go, and get a win this week. So I'm taking the Saints.
Love it. All right, last game. Browns, who I picked to win last week, who looked pretty good in the bad weather, versus the Steelers, who didn't look that good last week, but they're a decently good team as well. I'm going to go Browns, baby. Browns are going to go 2-0. I liked the weather affected Deshaun Watson and the Browns as well, but they were able to make things happen. They blew out the Bengals. Are now 5-1 against Joe Burrow. Nick Chubb's just a freaking dog. He's a savage. Deshaun Watson, weather permitted, but still made some plays. And going with the Browns. And my boy Lewis is in here. Thanks for tuning in, man. You finally got to catch us. But part of the Fins tailgate, the Rabid Dolphin in the house. Go check him out. He said, "Damn, I thought after the Bills losing to Zach Wilson, y'all wouldn't be on." Hey, well, some Bills fans are like that, but I did a whole film breakdown today. That was hard. That was painful. So I gotta be up here. But just trolling, fellas. Peace, take Lewis. Yeah, Lewis, I appreciate you, man. Great win last week. I got you winning this week, and Bills got to win, or it's going to be tough. And I'd like to, mention, please go to the Fins tailgate. Lewis, they got a bunch of shows over there, a bunch of guys, great fellows over there. Check them out. Subscribe. I think they're over 5,000 subscribers for sure. Keep them growing. They do awesome content. I watch them all. Literally, I think I watch more of them than anyone else because I like to keep my Bills takes my own. So I'm watching everyone else's takes. So I'm watching Fins Tailgate, a bunch of different channels. So check them out. You won't be disappointed. And I hope to do something with them during Bills Dolphins week. But Brett, who you got last game? Browns versus Steelers.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life, man. I am going to double down this week, and I'm going to take Pittsburgh to beat the Browns in my upset of the week because this is considered a big upset. I love Mike Tomlin and what he does as a head coach. Never had a losing season in his career, and I think that Tomlin's going to find a way to beat the sneaky Cleveland Browns, and I think that they're going to correct the mistakes that they made on defense. That was an undisciplined team that I saw with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it seemed like Kenny Pickett was rattled by the 49ers defense. But I think that they're going to find a way to win this game. It's going to be hard, especially with Deontay Johnson possibly being out this week. But I do like George Pickens. And I think that Najee Harris is going to have a bigger week this week. I think he's going to bounce back.
He needs to.
I liked Fairmouth as well. I think that he is a good tight end as well. But even though the Cleveland looked really good last week against the Bengals, I'm just not confident in them right now. Even though, they started 1-0, I just think Joe Burrow looked really rusty out there. And that's what it really came down to. So I think that the Steelers are going to win this game, but I think it's going to be a close one too. It's always the AFC North is always close, but every time I think of this rivalry, I always think of that Antonio Brown play where he was caught the punt return, and then he kicked the guy, the Cleveland punter, in the face. So I think about that play. So I'm gonna put the cleat in the Cleveland Browns.
I'm gonna disagree, but not bad. Not a bad pick.
Real quick, Sean, I want to do something just in case that there is a tie this week, and I've thought about a scenario where we can solve the tiebreaker. Okay. So if we go like 8-8 or something like that this week, then you get an extra game added on to your win. Okay. So if you win, you go up one. So you'd have a 3-game lead. If you lose, then you go down, and it becomes a 1-game lead. Does that sound good?
You're confusing me right now. I mean, as far as I'm saying for ties, as in like the Steelers and the Browns tie.
No, I got you.
You don't get a loss.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying ties like that. I'm saying if the overall record for the week. So let's say you go 8-8.
Oh no, it's going to be a total week till the end of the year. So you're 8-8 right now. I'm 10-6. We're going to add every week together until the last week. So you don't win. I mean, technically, I won the week, but you can still win the overall prize at the end if you have more wins at the end of the year. So I won this week, but I could go 0-16, and then you go 16-0, and then wipes it out. But I should have explained that a little bit better. I understand. Red, White, and Bills, absolutely. We'll do something week before. Brett from Goals Podcast, you're welcome to come through as well. We appreciate you, Lewis. You're a real one. And Lewis brings the heat. He has great takes. He knows a lot about football, and he's not afraid to show his opinion. And that's one thing I admire about him the most, because a lot of people, they kind of shy away from their true feelings. And not that I try to be like Lewis and try to copy him, but I like to think I have a similar viewpoint on my takes as Lewis does with his, and you can't go wrong with that. Being real and raw and direct is the only way to be. And
that's right.
I see Lewis doing that all the time, so I appreciate him coming in and showing some love to the channel. They're flaming Josh out for poor decision making on national media platforms. Yeah, they should, and definitely deserves it. Definitely deserves it, man. I mean, we know he's a better quarterback than that, and if you watch the game and you watch the film breakdown that I did, you could see that it was just him making dumb decisions that didn't need to be made. And if he didn't make them, we won the game. And he can come back and have a great, everyone's entitled to bad games, so don't get me wrong, but it needs to be talked about. Absolutely needs to be talked about. But for those of you that missed it in the beginning, last week Brett went 8-8 and I went 10-6. My upset of the week won. And let's implement something new, actually. If your upset wins, you get an extra win. How's that, Brett?
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said, so we're going to implement something new this week, that if your upset wins, you get an extra point.
Okay, that sounds good.
Because it's supposed to be challenging. So
I like that.
And you're upset, so you get just pick one though. So you want to put the Steelers as your upset, your big upset of the week, or do you want the Pats?
I'm gonna take I can't take the Commanders.
No, I mean whichever one you wanted to be your one true upset.
I'll take the Commanders over Denver.
Okay.
As my upset of the week. Even though that's a little soft, don't get me wrong, that's soft.
That's okay. But yeah, starting this week, we'll do, if the upset wins, then that person that picked the upset gets an extra point. Every other win is normal 1 point. Ties are a wash, as always. And so far, none of us have used a pass. And I don't think I will, but there might come a time where we might think about it. Brett might be pretty far behind, and he's like, I don't want to chance another loss on my record. So we'll go off win percentage, because the passes are, unless nobody uses passes. But if passes are used, it'll be like the tiebreaker. You got to use those. I lost my train of thought. I heard someone knocking somewhere, and I'm like, someone knocking on my door. It's too late for that.
So, Sean, I was kind of getting at this idea though. Okay. And I said that the one up thing, we'll take that out of play. Okay. So let's say this. Okay. Let's say you go 8-8 this week. I go 8-8 this week, and we end up in a tie for who's going to have the overall win for the week. Okay. Let's come up with a combined score for the Pittsburgh game against Cleveland. Okay. Combined score takes the win. Whoever gets closest to the combined score of the game takes the overall win for the week. No, it's just so that we have a winner each week, and it never becomes an issue.
Okay.
What do you think the combined score is going to be of the Cleveland and Pittsburgh game?
So the over-under, 41.
41? Okay. I'm going to say 37. It's going to be 2017.
Okay. All right. That'll be in case there's an 8-8. I never go that bad. I always either win all the games basically or only have a couple losses. So, but in the event that maybe I have a bad week, but again, it doesn't happen often. So now that you're behind, you have a long road ahead of you.
If there's ever a week that we pick the same teams each and every time, then we'll be able to think about that.
I think that's a great idea, Brett. And I gotta check out Lewis. I didn't watch anybody's videos today because like I said, I had that big breakdown, and then I had a bunch of stuff to do. But how'd you do last week? I was 10-6, and Brett was 8-8. Pete Batman is live. Come through. I didn't do. We didn't do preseason. I just waited till the season started because I was like, preseason is kind of tough.
But, yeah, it's way too tough. I mean, who would have thought? If you would have taken the Ravens for every single game for 25 games, then you'd have an easy win, and then all of a sudden they lost. Who would have expected that?
Yeah, I know, right? But all right, we're gonna wrap it up here. I gotta do some chores so my wife doesn't beat me. So all right, guys, appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like the video. Put your takes in the comments. Let us know what you think. Just go to Go Bills Podcast and subscribe. We're trying to hit some milestones this year. And then if you got nothing going on, head over to Batman's channel. As Lewis is saying, Batman is live. And then I got to go make dinner because I haven't eaten yet. And then have a blessed night, everybody. Go Bills. And hopefully your picks go pretty good. And hopefully I have another good week and win.
Go Bills.
See you later, guys. Thanks. Take care.